Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.125%. APR 4.22%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 0.88% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Welcome to a special edition of the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I am your host, Mike Goodpaster, and today we are going to continue our installment in our weekly shows involving Replenishing Care and Technologies founder, James Comerford, whose company uses a wide mix of cellular health technologies and tools to help improve athletic performance and overall health. When I say weekly, of course, maybe it wasn't weekly, but it was for a while. We did 6 shows, and it took about a 3-week break, so James could develop some additional materials to help listeners decide if and how Replenishing Care and Technology services could best fit into their athletic training and or general wellness efforts. So right now, I want to welcome James Comerford to this show. And James, let's start off here. For those who may not have heard our last shows, perhaps you could explain what Replenishing Care and Technologies is and what you've added over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, that's great, Mike. It's fabulous to be back here. And yeah, it was a couple of weeks that went a little longer than expected. But with that lead in, I'll start off by saying Replenishing Care and Technologies is a personal best performance and personal best fitness system. And I'm going to point out right at the get-go, when I say fitness system, it's important to make a distinction between what RC&T offerings are and the traditional images that people may get when they hear the term fitness. RC&T stacks 11 cellular health technologies together, and these either give cells the resources to perform, heal, and repair, or they help restore the body to homeostasis and balance. And that happens even under the stress of athletic training and competition or the daily challenges of life, if that's more a fit with where a person is. So these technologies work alongside the traditional fitness equipment and routines people associate with fitness systems to proactively help the body recover from the stress of competition or training. So it makes RC&T a whole new fitness paradigm that is founded on helping people perform at their best by using, restoring, and amplifying their body's own ability to heal and keep them at their best. And that's crucial because this internal ability to heal and repair, when that's fully engaged, it basically raises athletic or life performance exponentially, as well as overall wellness. And essentially, the better that internal healing capacity is, by sort of proxy, the more you're going to benefit from athletic training, good nutrition, or exercise practices. So what I've done over the past few weeks is create an RC&T partners page and what I call an RC&T store page to help people better understand this distinction and by extension, as you pointed out, determine whether it sounds like a match to their priorities, their needs, and their goals.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say fitness system, because when I think of fitness system, of course, I think of equipment, workout routines, trainers, reps, so on, followed by rest, recovery, water, nutrition, and so on. That's not really what RC&T is it?
It's really not. Again, we use the term fitness because it contributes so amazingly to athletic performance and fitness. But, what I've discovered over the last little while, and it's been this way for some time, is my biggest challenge in kind of letting people know what we do has been effectively sharing, what it is that RC&T consists of, simply because of the volume of information related to what we offer. We have 11 plus technologies, and each one of those has a huge amount of information relating to them. And then plus we've combined them, so we had to come up with our own proprietary information related to what happens when you put them all together. And so, kind of a case in point is our weekly shows that you referred to. We did a show on PEMF, and we did a show on VoxLife human performance technology, and one on the CBD, and one on pelvic correction. So you put me on a phone call with somebody, and they start mentioning, here's what they're looking to accomplish, or here's a health issue they're dealing with, and I've got about, 8 files that open up in my head that say, well, we have this, we have this, we have this, and it just gets, kind of overwhelming and just impractical to try and share that. So what we've done is put together, a couple of pages that I think will help people. The popular term this day is kind of funnel. So it'll kind of act a little bit like a funnel, I suppose, for people to be able to figure out where they plug in. And most importantly, and I love the acronym WIIFM, what's in it for me? At the end of the day, everything comes down to, what's in it for me in terms of making a decision. And that doesn't make us selfish people. It just means, we either decide to do something or not on the basis of whether it makes sense in terms of what we're hoping to accomplish. So with that kind of said, what I will repeat is the fact that RC&T is a different paradigm. It's not like any fitness system you've ever seen before. It's literally having cellular restoration or regeneration at your fingertips to help your body get back to where it needs to be for you to keep training hard and performing as well as you can. It is all about cellular regeneration. What it actually does is it helps athletes or anyone recharge their cells, oxygenate their body, remove scar tissue, balance their musculoskeletal system, and even positively upregulate their neurology. And so we've created a home use cellular regeneration system, and that's what we've been doing over the last little while, is trying to explain that it will augment a home gym, a team training facility, a corporate wellness center, or even particularly a professional practice. And my hope, and I'll go back to the first show we did, where we talked about this, all started with the goal of creating the clinic of the future and improving overall health outcomes, is my hope, and based on what I've learned over 15 years, is that cellular regeneration and reestablishing cellular health will be just as much of best fitness practices as rest, hydration, nutrition, and stretching, etc. And, the reason for that is that those who actually take the time and make the effort to do those things in regeneration will see the results of their efforts amplified exponentially. So, the site originally, or, the site again is www.rcandt.com. We set that up a while ago to kind of streamline the communication flow, and we've added a bit to that now to kind of make it a little bit even more easy to follow, we hope.
So I'm thinking that's a pretty natural lead into the information you've added to the www.rcandt.com since we last chatted.
Yeah, well, as I kind of was, alluding to in my last, kind of comments before you just asked me to kind of continue here, we have a whole lot of information, and in fact, we have 4 devoted websites that talk about some of the technologies that we use, and so what we were trying to do over the last little while is say, okay, well, who ideally would this be intended for? And then, how would somebody go about kind of understanding the way that these technologies are priced and presented? So that's basically what we've done. And, we're real excited about what we've put together. It feels real good, quite honestly.
All right, so just before you discuss the additions, did you want to remind us about what is so special about Replenishing Care and Technologies?
Yeah, that I'd love to do, and thanks for asking. Our technologies either give your cells back the power, oxygen, or other resources needed to perform, heal, or repair, or they help your body return to homeostasis or balance. And the importance of those things simply can't be overstated. And each one of the technologies that we've put together makes a unique contribution to improved cellular health. They're more effective when you use them together. They reinforce, in one case with PEMF, it even amplifies the benefits of everything else you're doing. and it adapts to the individual, which is another really powerful and important thing. And, you know, one of the cool things about it, there's no redundancy per se, but there's overlap. And the overlap happens in things like reduced pain and inflammation, more energy, improved range of motion, better sleep in many cases. And best of all, they do no harm. So what I love about it is the fact that you can do these things, do it without any concern that it's going to be harmful to you, watch your performance improve, and it's completely legal as well, which is another great thing, and there's nothing harmful. And, you know, by stacking them, which is what our model's all about, you get the benefits of a whole cluster of them, and it reduces the time involved to use them because you can use a lot of them simultaneously.
Now, I know from our previous discussions there are a wide range of people these apply to. Do you want to remind us about the replenishing care and technologies, what they are for, and for anyone who may have just joined us?
Totally. I mean, to go back to one of the kind of the underlying themes of this is that these technologies are foundational because when you help somebody improve cellular health, homeostasis, balance, it helps everybody kind of along the continuum they're on in terms of, you know, call it DNA, you know, any health issues they're dealing with, et cetera. So, I mean, we say, and rightfully so, it's for anybody from an elite athlete getting ready to perform at his or her best, or it's for somebody dealing with a health issue trying to get back on their feet. So for an elite athlete, you can expect to excel even more. Recreational athletes like myself who are, you know, the weekend warrior, you're going to perform better. For somebody less active, and I love when this happens, most people who are, you know, less active in many cases aren't feeling all that well, or, you know, maybe you have some history of that. So with somebody less active and you start feeling systemic improvement, there's often an increase in, you know, efforts to get outside or do activities that actually kind of start a positive domino effect in the other direction. And for anybody ill, injured, or post-surgical, you know, there's symptomatic relief when you upregulate cellular health and return the body to its natural healing capacity. And in many cases, people recover much more rapidly and often do so with less need for drugs. I mean, I talked about my own recovery from hernia surgery in 2016 at the age of 60 and being back full workout 9 days later because of these things. And I mean, I don't have the DNA of a world-class athlete. I'm a recreational weekend warrior type, but I was able to achieve that using the technologies we use. And what I love about it, and this is so integral to where we're all trying to be, you know, everybody's, you know, there's an aging population and everybody's seemingly more interested in living longer, obviously, and living well as they do. Everybody becomes more resistant to illness and injury, and actually it has a wonderful effect in slowing down the aging process.
All right, so what's exactly in the RCNT store?
Well, what we've done in the store, we pretty well set this up as two options, and you'll see that on our site if you land there. Option one is what we call the Replenishing Care recipe, or that's a package. And then option two is the Replenishing Care ingredients, or what we call you know, a la carte. We've done it this way because, you know, to go on a sort of a more macro level, excuse me, our long-term goal is to create a global network of RC&T centers where people can come and access these technologies on a kind of call it a subscription basis or a regular basis without necessarily purchasing some of the more high-ticket items, and be able to have, you know, ongoing access to this powerful health solution. That said, we know that some people won't want to wait for that network to get created, and we know some will prefer to have it at home even if that network was in fact in place. So what we actually have created is a Replenishing Care home cellular regeneration system, and that easily runs alongside any home gym, any team training facility, any corporate wellness center, or any professional practice, and it essentially transforms it into an accelerated recovery center. And so we also wanted to give people as many options as possible to buy any combination of the ingredients they wish. So that kind of leads me into the a la carte process, so that we give people as many options as possible to work with us. So just to kind of talk about what's in the cellular regeneration system, it's 5 cellular health technologies. You use them together, and that makes each more effective. One of them is a high-powered pulsed electromagnetic field, or PEMF device, which works as a battery charger for cells, and it's actually the very foundation of the overall system. And of course, we did a separate show on PEMF because of its importance. There's an enhanced exercise with oxygen therapy system that actually has an altitude contrast feature that has produced some incredible personal best performance results. We haven't done a show on that one yet, but I think that'll be in the future. We have a scar tissue therapy device that breaks up scar tissue, which is one of the most common sources of non-diagnosed pain. We have a pelvic correction system that we did a show on that actually helps balance the pelvis. It's like chiropractic 101, or it's analogous to brushing your teeth if you think about a dental application. And then we have the human performance technology, which you've talked about a number of times with the socks and insoles, that positively upregulates neurology in about 7 seconds and improves balance and lateral and dynamic stability in about 7 seconds. So it's pretty exciting stuff involved in all of that. So those 5 things are actually in the home regeneration system. And, I use every one of those myself every day. So it's kind of pretty easy to advocate for it. And don't mean to download here, but I'll just kind of continue on. In the a la carte approach, you can get each and every one of those on a separate basis. So you can get a PEMF machine, you can get the enhanced oxygen with oxygen therapy with altitude contrast, you can get a scar tissue therapy device, you can get pelvic correction, you can get the human performance technology, and there's also an opportunity for anybody who's a professional health, wellness, or fitness person to work with us in bringing Path of Purity forward. And of course, we did a show on that. It's the world's most advanced CBD, and we're real excited to have that as part of what we do.
All right, so you mentioned like elite athletes, team owners, and athletic trainers and so on as groups who are likely to benefit from what RCNP has assembled. Are these who you refer to when you reference the Replenishing Care Technologies Partners page?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, we know it applies to everybody, but, when you say that it's so universal, people kind of said, well, how's that even possible? So there are basically 5 groups of partners that we've identified. The first being elite athletes who want to take their career to the next level, go further into the record books, retire on their own terms, etc. So there's a page devoted to, why RCNT would be a good thing for them to consider. Similarly, there's a page for team owners, team executives, coaches, and trainers who want to take their team to the next level. We have something in there for executives, and that's not necessarily a fitness connection, but it's more about optimal or best organizational performance and also staff wellness. So we put something in there for somebody running an organization who wants to be at their best in the boardroom, but also wants to take care of their employees in the best possible way and in turn benefit from higher productivity, et cetera. Of course, we have the group, we call the professional health, wellness, and practitioners who want to take their care model and practice to the next level. And then the 5th is a public health stakeholder or corporate wellness stakeholder who's looking to find a better way to take care of a large population group, whether that's a societal group or a corporate wellness type of application. So, we think those 5 categories certainly are spot on what we do, but it will also give people a pretty good opportunity to think and determine whether or not they'd want to be in touch with us and consider working with us.
So how do you see these groups partnering with RC? and tea.
Yeah, well, it actually goes back then to the kind of the store application. I mean, the simplest way for an elite athlete, anybody involved with a team, or the executives who are looking to perform better, if you will, the two main options are you can plug the Replenishing Care Home Cellular Regeneration System into a home gym or a team training facility. Basically, if you do that, you're going to have 5 cellular health technologies stacked together, and they're going to give your cells the power, oxygen, and other resources needed to train, perform, recover, and heal at a whole new level and stay in homeostasis and balance while you do. So that's pretty powerful stuff. The second option in that, or the main one, is you can go ahead with one of our PEMF machines. And I'm delighted to, kind of comment. We've been working over the last little while with a growing number of NHL and NFL contemporary players. And we're real excited about that opportunity. And a number of them have seen some real interesting results in terms of their training capacity. They've seen, especially with the hockey players, some interesting results in more points and goals and those kind of things. And I think one of my favorite outcomes is one of the chaps who's just really kind-hearted and really astute, wound up almost becoming the de facto therapist with a number of his teammates last year as they started on a playoff run. And with the PEMF machine, we actually throw in a couple of additional technologies, from the overall program. So it's a pretty high value package as well. For anybody that's a team trainer or practitioner, we also encourage them to probably plug VoxLife HPT into their care model or practice, and there's also an opportunity to partner with us if you're a professional health, wellness, or fitness person on the Path of Purity affiliate model. And I guess I'll just wrap up this part of it by saying, for the public health or corporate wellness stakeholders, we're actually looking to partner in a pilot project with somebody where we're going to put about 50 people through the full-blown model, document the efficacy, and bring it forward with the hope of making a radical and major improvement in overall population health. So we got a whole lot we're looking to accomplish, and we're real excited to be able to share that with people and look forward to hopefully hearing from some folks that are listening in today.
All right, we got a question from a listener, and it's kind of funny, so I figured I'd bring it up to you. This is Rob from Indianapolis that wants to know if the VoxLife socks would have made it more likely Adam Vinatieri would make his extra points.
Well, I think that's a really interesting question. It upregulates neurology very positively in about 7 seconds. Better balance, better stability, better energy, better endurance, a whole lot of things there. So it could only, I wouldn't want to say a definite yes, but I would certainly think it would have been a positive thing for anybody to have on their feet.
As you would say, James, it would have done no harm. All right.
I like your answer better.
And I would like to bring up the fact that I've used a lot of this, and my sons have used it. My whole family has. And the PEMF machine, and I know I've talked about this before, but my son, who's a high school quarterback going into his junior year, actually had tore pitching baseball the ligaments in his wrist. And they told him that he had to have surgery. There's no way to be able to throw a ball. And we started going to Dr. Fix, who has a PMF machine in the Cincinnati area. And 2 years later, my son still hasn't had a surgery and threw the ball well enough to get us to a national championship game last year. So that is great. And then the other one, and this was a recent one with my sister, who tried to take the CBD for anxiety, and I'd been getting it from you for a while, the Path of Purity, and I thought it was the best CBD out there because there's a lot of stuff out there. If you don't pay attention to what you're getting, let's just put it like this, guys. If you're going to buy CBD oil, don't buy it from a gas station. But I had like some pills left over and I gave them to her, but there was only like a week supply, and she took like 2 of them, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago. She tells me it didn't do anything for me, and then I get a call from her like a week or two ago, and she said I took the rest of those pills, and those were amazing. She said I need more of them, and the same thing with my wife and my sons. All of them took it. All of them had amazing results, and we go to the Vox Life. That's something that's more personal to me because that's the one where I'm the one that has used them, and I know that James, you sent me the inserts, and I had just started working out about 3 months ago when you sent me the inserts, and I'm somebody who had a knee surgery a couple of years ago. I've always had issues with my knees since I was probably 14 years old, and I have had no issues with my knees while working out. I went from, let's just say, at the start of January, if I ran 30 seconds, I was out of breath and almost done. And now I can run 3-4 miles. Doesn't bother me at all. And I think that losing 100 pounds helped. But I think the Vox inserts, I think, helped greatly. Because when I got them 3 months ago, I'd already lost like 70 pounds, and it was still hurting. So I think the combination of those two were huge there. So yeah, everything that I have tried from Replenishing Care and Technologies has worked and has affected either myself or somebody I love's life exponentially, made it better. So it's not just it does no harm, which is a great thing that it does no harm, but in all cases I've seen, it does a lot of good. So what's our show next week, James?
Well, I think we'll probably pick up on some of the things that you just talked about. You know, talk about some examples of things that we've seen with people using some or all of the technologies. And, you know, I'm going to take a little bit of time over the next day or two just to kind of put something together that I think would kind of bring, you know, all we've done so far kind of into kind of one place, if you will. I'm delighted you shared what you shared, and congratulations on the transformation you've gone through on that whole fitness level. And, you know, what you've shared is my experience when I get on the phone with somebody, because somebody will say this is what they're looking to do, or this is, you know, I've got a son with this injury, or, you know, another loved one, et cetera. And, you know, there's literally a list of about 11 things that we have, and I say 11 plus because it's more than you know, that more than 11, and we're kind of putting all the pieces together on this being a full-blown model that people can access so they get the benefits of all of those things, because each one makes a benefit or a unique contribution, as you pointed out, and when you put them all together in what we call stacking, you get, you know, the combination of them all kind of doing whatever formula your body does to apply them in the best possible way for you to best perform, best heal, and best repair. So it's, you know, it's all upside basically.
All right, James, I want to remind everybody to go check out the store on the website, www.rcandt.com. That's www.rcandt.com. James.
Yeah, and please have please have a look at the partners thing as well there, because we kind of do some explanation as to why we, you know, believe that those groups would be well suited to, or at least that what we have would be well suited to the priorities, goals of those individuals. So we'd love to hear your feedback if you go on there and what you think, and you know, please feel free to reach out and write us anytime as well.
All right, James, and they can reach you through the website. They can also reach you at Twitter. You want to give out your Twitter handle?
Yeah, it's at RepCareandTech. And, yeah, and basically you'll see a whole lot of different ways to connect with us through the site as well.
All right, and if you don't want to type in all those pesky little letters to get to the website, you can go to thegirlytruth.com. Click on the Replenishing Care banner at the top of our page. James, I want to thank you for coming on. I look forward to next week. I always enjoy talking with you. remember, you can hear all of our shows on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, and 300 other places. So basically, if you go on Google and you type into Grilling Truth, you'll find us. So for James Comerford, I'm Mike Goodpastor. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.
Hi folks, Dirk Bentley here. Being on the go is a big part of my life. I love seeing new places, meeting new people, and performing all over the world. For energy on the go, for me, it's 5-Hour Energy. It works fast, works long, and it tastes good. With 0 sugar and 4 calories. Try it. It could work for your on-the-go life too. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go.
Get 5-Hour Energy at your local Circle K.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.125%. APR 4.22%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. 8.88% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.